What's going on, everybody? Funky Cyclist here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for joining me. Today we're in the beautiful Panama City, in the beautiful country of Panama. We're about to check out the Amador Causeway and catch a few views on the way. See you guys in a little bit. There's my sister. She's here too.
Today's bike ride starts on the Panama City Cycle Path, also known as the Ciclovia Cinta Costera. This is a dedicated 7-kilometer path for all sorts of physical activities like running or rollerblading. The path begins near an upscale part of Panama City, passing well-known landmarks including Anayansi Plaza and the Japanese Garden. Located in Central America, the country of Panama is a diverse nation made up of 10 provinces and 3 indigenous regions. While the gleaming towers of Panama province get most of the attention, the other 9 provinces from the highlands of the Chiriqui to the Caribbean coast of Colón hold a true variety of the country's landscape and culture. Panama has a really rich history when it comes to its indigenous peoples, with 7 distinct districts still in existence today. From the islands of the Caribbean to the deep rainforests of the Darien, these coasts remain a vibrant part of the country and truly represent the heartbeat of the nation's heritage.
So we are cruising. Just started on the ride here with my sister today. Panama wasn't on my list. I didn't even think I'd be out here, but my family was coming out here. My father's from the country of Panama, and when he was with us, we never had a chance to come out here because we lived in New York. This is our opportunity. My family wanted to come back and check out where he used to live. Saw some relatives as well. So that was really nice. So before I came, some folks suggested, hey, if you're out there, you might as well try to get a ride and maybe record. I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. I wasn't really familiar with Panama as far as what's there, biking, but even just riding around, I mean, they got folks cycling, a lot of running. Obviously, Panama City here, they have this great trail that takes you all the way out to the causeway. Really nice and people friendly, pedestrian friendly, bike friendly. Because traffic here, just in the city, gets pretty busy and drivers are quite aggressive. So you got to know what you're doing if you're going to be out here for sure. But on the bike path, it's not bad. It seems to be a very active community. And on Sundays, they close the road down. It looks like certain roads, at least on the causeway when we saw it, that road was closed to just cyclists and people who wanted to run or wherever. It was just closed for anyone, which is really nice. That'd be something that'd be cool if other cities. I know New York City does that. They have some days where they shut everything down on major roads. It would be nice if more cities did that, especially on the weekends.
Panama was discovered by Spain in 1501 by Rodrigo de Bastidas. Many of the indigenous peoples fled for their safety. It was said that infectious disease was the primary cause of the decline of the native population with no protection from diseases like smallpox. Due to centuries of Spanish rule, the population blended into a rich mestizo culture with strong influences from the Catholic Church, which eventually shaped the traditions and social fabric of the nation. Over time, the country became known as the Bridge of the World, a vital transit point for Spanish gold and global trade. In the early 1900s, President Teddy Roosevelt saw an opportunity to leverage Panama's unique geography. Providing one of the narrowest points between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, this distance would prove to be a key waterway, allowing maritime transportation to flow in either direction from the Atlantic to the Pacific. No longer would ships have to traverse the entire South American continent via Cape Horn, which presented challenges due to rogue waves, severe weather, and even icebergs. At that time, the journey could take an average of 2 months, not to mention the massive cost of fuel and supplies. With the canal in place, ships can make the same journey in just 8 to 10 hours, saving millions of dollars and most importantly, time. For the US, this meant warships could move quickly between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, a necessity highlighted by the Spanish-American War, establishing U.S. dominance in the region and enforcing the Monroe Doctrine by preventing European control of the canal and ensuring the U.S. controlled the central trade route. The canal's history is as messy as it is impressive. It was born from a lopsided treaty without a single Panamanian president, leading to Teddy Roosevelt's famous boast, "I took the Isthmus." It's a legacy that defined Panama's relationship with the U.S. and Colombia for over a century. Construction on the canal was one of sacrifice with masterful engineering. It actually started with the French in 1881. But they actually failed primarily due to a disastrous combination of rampant tropical diseases, engineering challenges, and severe financial management. The United States took over in 1904. Due to the country's geography, there's a significant elevation, the Continental Divide, in the middle of the canal. The water level at Gatun Lake is 85 feet above sea level. To navigate this natural obstacle, the famous locks were installed, acting as massive water elevators that lift and lower ships to move them across the center of the country. The elevation was a real challenge for the French, who insisted on a sea level canal similar to the Suez Canal, ignoring the difficult mountainous and rainy Panamanian terrain, leading to bankruptcy and scandal. Amazingly, the operation of locks are powered by gravity with no pumps used to fill or empty the chambers. Instead, the system relies on a basic principle that water seeks its own level. The Panama Canal was an incredible man-made endeavor, but there was a heavy cost. Over 25,000 workers lost their lives between the French and American construction efforts. They weren't just battling the terrain, they were fighting against unsafe work conditions and devastating diseases like yellow fever and malaria. The work was finally completed in 1914. The US controlled the canal zone for 85 years and eventually transferred full ownership to Panama on December 31st, 1999. My own family's history is deeply tied to this project. My great-grandfather Leonard Hogan and his brother John Hogan traveled from Barbados in 1909 to work on the canal. Thanks to some incredible research started by my cousin, we've been able to retrieve actual documentation from that time. It was mind-blowing to find records of their journey from Barbados to Panama along with the original metal check issue records. It was interesting to see the metal check record from my great-granduncle John dated in 1930, which showed that the work didn't end with the canal's opening. It was a constant multi-generational effort to keep the locks and channels running. Seeing my great-grandfather's name listed as a cook in the dredging division was just surreal. As for my great-granduncle John, his occupation was listed as ART. After some additional research, I discovered stood for artisan or skilled worker. When I started this channel, it was just about taking rides and sharing a little bit of history along the way. I never imagined it would lead me to discover my own family's roots and our connection to this vital waterway. Today, countries pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to access the canal and wait in a queue that can take days. Revenue from the canal has fueled the country's economy and supports a modern, world-class infrastructure. It allows its people to access better education, a thriving international banking sector, and one of the highest standards of living in Latin America. Today, visitors can experience travel on the canal with local tours and observe the locks on viewing platforms to see the ships as they traverse the canal. This is another perspective that really highlights the amazing process that has been in operation for more than 100 years. Not too far from the canal is a small town of Paraiso where my father grew up. This small town is located right on the canal where my family could see these massive ships right from the neighborhood. I can just imagine being a kid watching these giants pass by, wondering where they were coming from and where they were going. For a child, that must have sparked such a sense of adventure and the endless possibility of traveling and experiencing the world. From Panama, my father would eventually make his way to the US and join the Army. He was assigned to the US Army Transportation Group, or USA TTGE. Established in 1945, this unit was a key logistics command responsible for all port operations and cargo movement across Europe. My father was stationed in the United Kingdom terminal as a movement specialist. He didn't just excel at his job though, he was deeply involved in a local community where he was formally recognized for his contributions. It was here where he met my mother, whose family came from the island of Jamaica. They eventually settled in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, the neighborhood where I grew up. From the 1960s through the 90s, East Flatbush became a vibrant melting pot for West Indian and Central American migration, bringing together Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Bajans, Haitians, and of course Panamanians. Being here on this ride for me feels like coming full circle. Here we are on the Cinta Costera 3. This is easily the most visually stunning segment of Panama City's waterfront beltway, and is a true masterpiece of modern engineering. Known for its 2.5-kilometer marine viaduct, this section of the ride takes you out over the Pacific Ocean, circling the historic Casco Viejo district. It's a dedicated bridge for cars, pedestrians, and cyclists that curves around the UNESCO World Heritage Site of the Old City. It was built to preserve the historic walls of Casco Viejo while providing a bypass for traffic. As you pedal across the viaduct, the 360-degree views provide the best vantage points of all the sites. To your right, the 500-year-old colonial rooftops and church spires of the old city. To your left, the open Pacific Ocean. And behind you, the skyscrapers of the modern city can still be seen. The old city was founded in August 15, 1519 and lasted for 152 years. After the original city was destroyed, construction of a new city started in 1672 and officially founded in 1673. This city was built on a peninsula, completely isolated by the sea and a defensive system of walls. Today, this place preserves the first institutions and buildings of the modern city of Panama. The old city has become a tourist hotspot filled with restaurants, boutique hotels, museums, and nightclubs, and has experienced gentrification while also maintaining multiple historical sites. The district is famous for its Spanish colonial style, but actually features a unique blend of Spanish, French, and early American architecture. This mix reflects the various international influences that have shaped Panama, particularly during the different phases of the canal's construction. One of the famous legends of the area is found at the Iglesia de San Jose. It houses a massive golden altar that was reportedly painted black by Jesuits to hide it from the pirate Henry Morgan during his raid on the original city. Here we are on the Amador Causeway. This is a 6-kilometer stretch of road that connects the mainland of Panama City to 4 small islands in the Pacific Ocean. This scenic roadway was constructed using rocks excavated during the building of the Panama Canal. Originally built as a defensive breakwater for the canal's entrance and a road for U.S. military bases, it is transformed into one of the city's most popular recreational spots. I really enjoyed spending my time here during my stay. It reminded me of a local beach or a park where locals can come just to spend time with family. As you bike along the wide dedicated path, you have a unique perspective. The Bridge of the Americas and the master ships entering the canal on one side, and the towering Panama City skyline across the bay on the other. As we continue this ride, we're passing through a fantastic entertainment area on the causeway. From the restaurants like Sabrosa Panama to the energy of the Juegos Amador, there's much to see. There's an entire complex here with Magic Park for rides and even a Panama karting track if you're looking for a thrill. I honestly love the energy of this place and can't wait to come back. The Fuerte Amador Resort and Marina is the final stop on our ride today. This facility is a hub of activity where the Pacific Ocean meets the entrance of the Panama Canal. It is a unique hybrid of a high-end yacht club, a cruise ship tender port, and a public recreation complex. The marina can accommodate over 200 vessels, including mega yachts up to 250 feet. It is often the first port of call for sailors crossing the Pacific towards the Pearl Islands or those waiting to transit the canal. It houses the only duty-free shop in Panama City located outside of the airport. You can also find numerous open-air restaurants and bars here. This is a 2-story complex overlooking the dock and is a popular evening destination where you can grab a nice drink and just watch a beautiful sunset.
All right, guys, so here we are making a quick pit stop at the local marina at the end of the Amador Causeway. I got these from the local bike shop, Raleigh R Pros. Pretty rugged mountain bikes. They do have front suspension, and you can tell these definitely have some serious use. They've gotten the job done, and I got no complaints. Some Billy Goat rugged tires as well. It's doing the job for what we need. I think it's good, especially if you're just a tourist coming through. But Raleigh does have other bikes as well. Looks like they have road bikes. There's some other options if anybody's interested. So definitely check them out if you ever come out to Panama City.
So here we are halfway through. We're at the marina right now, just hanging out here with my sister Leah. Hopefully, Leah, you've been enjoying. What do you think of the ride so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. Great to see the land of our dad. You know, he was born and raised in Panama, and to make that connection to our history. And just with this, as far as the ride is concerned, the Amador Causeway has been, the whole country's amazing, but the views out here are completely, really stunning. Blue ocean, blue water. We have a little bit of old and new. We got to see Casco Viejo from a distance, and then obviously we have the downtown area, which is all skyscrapers. So you get a nice mix of everything there. But it's really beautiful. I recommend anyone to come and visit.
And I want to thank my sister for getting me out when she had recommended we come back to Panama. She said maybe you should bring your cameras. It might be a good opportunity to record. So I'm glad that I did, and she recommended that. My brother-in-law recommended it as well. So appreciate you guys for doing that for me. We're gonna be on our way back now. See you guys in a little bit. Thanks again for joining us.
Bye.
Peace, peace.
This ride offers a seamless and high-quality trail for all cyclists. The path is well maintained, featuring wide paved lanes that are separate from traffic, ensuring a safe ride. You'll experience a variety of terrain, from the urban asphalt of the city to the marine viaduct riding over the Pacific Ocean. From the modern city to the flamenco marina, the sights along this route are just amazing, providing a visual timeline of Panama's history. Thanks for joining me on this ride today. Stay tuned for more amazing rides on the way. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you all soon. Be safe and take care.